Hi, this is Susanna Williams with Essential Oils, Health Matters, and Living a Wholesome Life. And we are on week 16, day 4 of our positive, peaceful growth affirmation. That we are doing these little affirmations Monday through Friday. And we are following Dr. Susan Lawton's book, Positive, Peaceful Growth Calendar, that you could get at Aroma Tools or Oil Life. And it's a book that combines positive affirmations with music therapy and with essential oils, and it's just a delightful book. So if you haven't gotten it yet, you might want to go buy it because it's super good. Okay, so as you know, if you've been following us, that the affirmation for the week is I am telling my story in a new way.
Sissel!
As we're going into the new year, as we are now in 2020, right? And my affirmation is perfect vision in 2020. I love the idea is 2020, like 2020 perfect vision. Anyway, so that's my affirmation, and that I'm holding on for the whole entire year. Have you set an affirmation that you want to hold on to for the entire year? I know that as we were talking about goals, one of my daughter's goals or affirmations was own the morning, right? Own the morning, get what you want done in the morning. And Caleb, I'm hearing some noise. Can you turn off the sound on my phone for me? Are you still able to do that? Anyway, so the affirmation so whatever your affirmation is for the whole entire year, I highly suggest that you set an affirmation and maybe a song for the whole entire year. I haven't picked my song for 2020 yet, but my song for 2019 was It Is Well With My Soul. And it just reminded me that whatever is happening right now, it's okay. In the end, everything is going to be okay. And it was a beautiful song to remind me of that. So pick your song for the year too. So the affirmation for this week is I am telling my story in a new way. What do you want to do this year? Who do you want to become this year? Have you started? Like, how was yesterday for you? I hope yesterday was super good for you. I know that we did many of our things that we want to do on a daily basis yesterday. Even though we're kind of still a little bit in holiday mode, we were like, oh, no, these are the big rocks, getting the big rocks done. Okay, so the affirmation for today is, I am open to hearing my inner wisdom. And I had to think about that for a while. And when I think about just being quiet and listening to our inner wisdom, to me, our inner wisdom, comes from God. Like there's a scripture that says every good thing comes from God. And I think that the inner voice that we have inside us, telling us how to be, telling us what to do, guiding us, right? I think that comes from God. So when I think about hearing my own inner wisdom, I really do feel like as I connect to my own inner wisdom, I'm really connecting to the voice of Heavenly Father, what Heavenly Father wants me to do and who He wants me to be. Okay, so as I'm thinking about listening to my inner wisdom, so it's not like inner wisdom tends to happen instantly. No, sometimes it does. Sometimes we're at a crossroads and we instantly know the right way to go. But often it's not like that. It's not like, hey, inner wisdom, what should I be doing right now in this situation? It's not like that. I think that God really likes us to study things out, maybe even make lists, like what is what are the two options and what are the benefits and the costs to each of those options, and then to really pray about things. I don't think I think God is like most parents, and And if you're a parent and your child comes in and says, hey, what shall I do? Most of the time we as parents aren't like, okay, well, this is what you should do. Although sometimes we are, right? But a lot of times it's like, well, we turn it back to them. Well, what do you think you should do in this situation, right? And we let them struggle and wrestle with the issue for a while. And then when they come back to us, they're like, this is what I think. Do you think this is a good idea? And then we're like, yeah, I think that's an amazing idea. Or have you thought of this? Right? And so I don't think like God likes to give us things on a silver platter. And I don't think that parents typically like to do that either, because that would inhibit some of the growth that we would want, that we would need to wisen up. So inner wisdom, I think it takes time. I think it takes effort. I think it takes a slowness, a slowing down. So this I'm connecting with 2 songs on this for listening to our own inner wisdom. And the first one is a children's song, and it is from My Turn on Earth, which is a play, but you can also get it as a CD, musical. But the song goes like this. It goes, look for that bright little light inside, helping you to see the way. Look for that bright little light inside, growing brighter day by day. It'll show you the way that you should go, and it will never grow dim. Just keep in touch with your Father above, because it was lit by Him. So that's the first song, and I'll definitely put the link to that in the comments. That just resonates with me. Like, God didn't mean for us to go through this life alone and to just make life a roll of the dice. Which way should I go? It doesn't really matter. Let's just roll the dice. He didn't mean for us to go through life that way. He meant for us to go through life connected to Him and learning from those around us, learning from our past, learning from, experts that are in our circles. And as we're learning from them, still listening to our inner voice that says what is absolutely right for us. So we took our family. I wanted to give you an example of someone that I thought was just like amazing at listening to her inner voice. And that someone is Harriet Tubman. And, oh my gracious. Such a hero of mine. If I could just be more like Harriet Tubman, right? We took our whole family to see it. It's in the dollar theaters right now. If you haven't seen it, you can probably get it on like Netflix or Redbox or something like that. But she had such a gift of knowing which way to go and how to keep herself safe and how to keep others in her care safe, because she had developed that gift of prayer and that gift of listening to Heavenly Father's voice, which I really think is we hear as our inner voice. And so I think that's one way that we can learn more about listening to our inner voice, and that is by praying. And when we pray, again, let's study things out beforehand. And then let's pray with paper and pen in hand, right? As we're feeling guided, let's write things down that we're hearing so that we don't forget to do what we're hearing. And then let's write down, I got inspired to do things this way, and this is what happened with that. Now, I want to tell you one story about Harriet Tubman. Right? She had escaped by herself to freedom, and then she felt really, really inspired to go back and bring her husband, who was a free man, to Boston, I think it was. And so she went back. she felt, that God was just totally leading her in this way. And so she went back, and she found that he was married to another woman, and didn't feel, and he was a free man and she was a free woman, and so she felt like they would be taken care of. And what she then did is she rescued a whole lot of other slaves at the time, and brought them to freedom. And she thought that God was leading her in one way. And when she did what God said, she found that God had an entirely different purpose for her. And so I think that sometimes happens to us. Like, God gives us a little inspiration and gets us moving our feet, and we think that we're moving our feet for one direction when he has a whole nother purpose for us in mind. And so I just think it's super important to follow that inner voice that I feel like comes from God. Okay, so I told you about the first song that I was connecting to, that children's song. So the second song that I'm connecting to is a song by Sissel, and it's called Slow Down. Because I think that when we are hurrying throughout our day from morning till night, and we never give ourselves contemplation time, we never give ourselves prayer time, that it's really hard to hear our inner voice, and it's really hard to hear the voice from God. And so I feel like we do need to slow down to have the quiet, peaceful moments so that we can hear the voice of God. Okay, and so as I was thinking about listening to our own inner voice, I'm reminded of a poem by Robert Frost, who's one of my favorite poets. And it starts like this. It starts, 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. And it talks about, I can't recite the whole poem for you, although I used to be able to do it when I was in college, but it talks about how here you have 2 paths, and he's trying to decide, this person is trying to decide which way to go. And so he looks at one, and then he looks at other, and they were both basically about as fair, which means about as tempting or as encouraging a path. But he said that he chose the one less traveled by, and how that had made all the difference in his life. And so whatever your choices are, as you're listening to your inner voice, whether they're choices that everyone else does, or whether they're choices that hardly anyone else does, as we listen to our inner voice, I think it brings happiness to us. And so I just wanted to give you some examples of ways that I've kind of listened to my inner voice. Sometimes it takes courage to listen to your inner voice, especially if it's doing things that other people don't seem to be doing. But I'm just going to testify that listening to our inner voice and doing what we feel is right for us can bring so much happiness and joy. So here are some things, that big and little ways, that I've listened to my inner voice. So the first one was homeschooling. I discovered homeschooling when I was in college. It was just something, a topic that was mentioned in one of my human development classes. And I instantly connected with it. And then I was blessed with a best friend, or a good friend, that was homeschooled. And she was, oh my goodness, I'd never met anyone like her. She was so amazing, so individual. And then I was blessed with a friend who was homeschooling, and she had 5 kids, and she was, oh my goodness, an inspiration. And then I feel called to do this. And having my children around me day after day, teaching them to read, teaching them math, teaching them literature, right, has filled my life with joy. So it was a very good choice for me. Now, is homeschooling right for everyone? No, I feel like God has a different path for all of us to go to. But for me, listening to my inner voice has made my life wonderful. A small thing, like quitting dyeing my hair. I remember when I first started to go gray, and I'm like, oh, can't have that. People won't love me if I have gray hair. Whatever. I can't even believe I bought into that. But and then I got to the point where I am like, why? Why do women feel like we have to look a certain way to be loved? To feel like our voices have credit. And I'm like, no, it's all quit dyeing my hair. It's turning gray, and I love it. And I get compliments on it. And even if I didn't, like, that's not the purpose. The purpose is just saying that women can be women, and when we're our own self, people love us more. I don't know. Anyway, am I telling you to quit dyeing your hair? No, that's your own choice. We all have our different missions in life. But for me, living more authentically with who I am has made me more happy. Journaling is something sometimes I get a lot of slack on how much I write in my journal, but for me, it has brought a sense of peace and happiness that is profound. And I feel like I'm leaving to my children my thoughts so they will really know who was their real mom, right? And what did she have to struggle through? And how did she get over her struggles? Like, I think that's the gift that I want to leave to my children is, yes, I had struggles too, and this is how I got over them, and you're going to have struggles in your life, and you're going to be able to get over them too. Like, with God, we can do everything. Two other things super quick that I feel like I've listened to my inner voice on. One of them is choosing alternative medicine. I feel like it's blessed my life in so many ways, and becoming a proponent of the power of essential oils and other things that you can take into your life that makes you more healthy. I feel like I get emails and texts on this is how this has blessed my life, and it's satisfying. It's satisfying to know that people are being able to solve their own issues themselves, that God gave us the things in our life, the natural things in our life to help us solve our own issues ourselves. Anyway, and then the very last thing I want to talk about, listening to my inner voice, was getting out of debt, right? Not being like so much of America where we spend our whole income, where we rack up the debts on the credit cards or the second mortgages or whatever. No, that brings, and there was a time where, gracious, we were in so much debt, and it brought a heaviness to our life. And listening to the inner voice, and which I feel like is the voice of God, and getting out of debt has brought an incredible sense of freedom. I can't even tell you the freedom and the lightness that you, and the non-worry, is that even a word, but the non-worry that you feel when you don't have debt hanging over you. So anyway, maybe today we can journal about what has our inner voices told us to do, and how has listening to them blessed our lives. And maybe we can even journal about what has our inner voices let us, inspire us to do, and did we ignore them, and how did ignoring them harm our life? Not really harm, because harm entails like it's permanent, but how did it change our life? How could have our life been better, I guess, if we would have listened to it? I think it's good to learn from the positive things and from the negative things that we've done, because each can add to our wisdom. Okay, so listening to your inner voice, again, connecting, I feel like, with God. And I was listening to a talk the other day, and they were saying, how can I learn to hear my inner voice better? And it's often when we ask the question, who can I help today? And then we can kind of get used to, how does God talk to us, right? That's a question that he will almost always answer. Okay, so I think that's all that I wanted to say about listening to our inner voice. Again, the affirmation for today is, I am open to hearing my own inner wisdom. And again, I feel like our best inner wisdom comes from God. Okay, so I love this whole thing too is about pairing essential oils with the positive affirmations and the music therapy. And so the diffuser blend that we are diffusing this week is Vetiver, which is the oil of centering and getting to the bottom of things. Lavender, which is the oil of communication and calm. And today, and lime, which is the oil of zest for life. And today we are talking about the emotional benefits of lime. Now, lime has many, many gifts. A lot of people know how to use the fruit, like sailors for millennia used limes because it was so full of vitamin C, and it helped them prevent scurvy, which was a disease that you get when you don't have as much fresh fruits and vegetables and vitamins in your life. So, but lime essential oil also has is chock full with antioxidants. It's cold pressed from the rind of the lime, not from the fruit, but from the rind. And that's how they basically get all of the citrus oils, from the rind, not from the fruit. Okay, so here's a few ways to use lime. Rub a few drops of lime on the back of your neck and on your ears to help prevent fatigue and to increase alertness. So if you're going on a long drive, or if you're in a long study session, doing that, putting it on your ears, putting it on the back of your neck, right? It can help you stay more alert. Diffusing it in those situations. You can buy car diffusers. Oh my gracious, they smell so good. We have one going in our car right now. It's white fur, which I love. But okay, so you can also diffuse lime when you have some feelings of sadness. When you're feeling sad or when you're feeling despondent, the nickname for lime is the zest for life, and it can help lift the sadness. One of the things that you need to know about citrus oils is they are all mood uplifters. So your lemon, your lime, your bergamot, your wild orange, tangerine, your mandarin oils, they are all going to be mood upliftings, but lime seems to be the most uplifting oil when it comes to clearing sadness and despondency. Okay, lime is an oil that is very good about getting the gunk out of your life that you don't want. So if you have a lot of negative feelings, whether you're feeling jealous or unwanted, whether you're feeling, whatever the list of negative feelings could go on and on. But diffusing that, maybe putting a few drops of lime essential oil. Caleb, can you give me the lime really quick? Kind of help with that too. Now, when you're ingesting essential oils, you really need to be careful on the quality of essential oil that you choose, because all essential oils are not created equally. The only essential oil that I would ever recommend ingesting is doTERRA essential oils, and here's the reason for that. It's because they third-party test every batch, and thank you. And they mark on the bottom of each bottle your batch number, and so you can go to a site called SourceTo and see all of the tests that have been run on your batch of essential oils and all of the results for that. But lime essential. Oh, and a super quick way to know if you have a doTERRA essential oil, is it safe for ingestion? You just look for the supplement facts. And it's going to be the same thing that you see on your cereal box or, on your soup cans. It's just going to be a little supplement fact. It's going to tell you how to use it. And if you see this on your doTERRA bottle, you know that it could be ingested. And lime definitely is something that you can ingest. So, it also has a gift. Now, remember yesterday when we talked about lavender, and we were talking about, hold on, I'm going to put down my bottle of lime. And we were talking about how lavender is one of those essential oils that has the gift of balancing the yin-yang energies, the male-female energies and tendencies, right? And so lime can also has another gift, and it's a balancer. Lime is a balancer, and what lime balances is it balances our intellection, our intelligence, our being our logical mind with our emotional mind, with our heart, right? So it balances our mind and our heart. It lets us be logical, but also leading from our heart and also connected. So if you have people in your life who tend to be super logical and not very compassionate, and I'm not saying that logic and compassion don't go together, because they do go together, but sometimes people develop one and ignore the other. And so if you have people in your life that don't tend to be naturally compassionate, naturally empathetic, and naturally emotionally connective, lime can help bring that up and balance their mind and their heart. Really, really love that. Okay, remember how I was talking about that lime can help us kind of clear out those negative feelings. It's a powerful cleanser. And lime, another gift of lime, is that it can help us, not only can it help us get rid of the feelings that no longer serve us, it can help us get rid of things in our life that no longer serve us. So I know that a lot of people, especially at the start of their year, they're like, okay, we're getting our house under control. We are going to start with decluttering and getting rid of things that no longer serve us. If they can serve someone else, let's give them to a thrift store. And if they're just past use, let's just throw them away, right? So as you are going about decluttering these next few weeks or months, whatever your goal is to do this year, go ahead. Put a few drops of lime in your diffuser. Put a few drops of lime in your water. And I feel like that's really going to help us be able to see more clearly what serves us, what doesn't. And if it's not really serving us anymore, kind of allowing us to break that emotional connection and say, you know what, let's release it and let it bless someone else's life. So if you're decluttering, lime can be amazing for your diffuser. Besides which fact, it smells amazing. So it's going to just keep your feelings more buoyed up as you're getting rid of things. Sometimes cleaning can be like a chore, right? But lime can help it be a more pleasant experience. Okay, so here's some diffuser blends or even here's some diffuser blends that can help. So you can pair lime with rosemary if you want to help yourself focus or to stay alert. If you want to help with concentration, lime and rosemary. Oh, if you've ever tried rosemary in the shower, it will totally wake you up. I love adding a drop of rosemary to my shampoo. It just it's so energizing, and lime and rosemary are a super good team together to help when it comes to study sessions. Okay, if you want to be a little bit more joyous, pairing lime with neroli or lavender or clary sage. Each of those beautiful flower oils with that lime can just bring a joyousness and a peace to your atmosphere. Okay, so when it comes to clearing out emotions, you can definitely use lime on itself, but you can also pair it up with some other oils that kind of makes it a little bit more powerful for cleaning out those emotions and helping to heal your heart. Sometimes when you can use lime to clear it out, but also you don't want to just leave your heart cleared out. You want to help heal your heart of some of the toxic emotions that we all get sometimes, right? So pairing lime with geranium, which is amazingly healing to your heart, or hinoki oil, which so happy doTERRA has it first time ever that you can get this month. Look into that. And so pairing it with geranium or hinoki oil or ylang ylang can really help getting out those negative emotions and help your heart start into healing. Now, if you've had some emotions that are just long time emotions, it's not something that, I just got mad yesterday, right? know if you're struggling with something that you've been hurt with over and over again for years, let me suggest a different diffuser blend for that. Or maybe you've had a problem with jealousy for such a long time, or a problem with feeling inadequate. We all get hit with different things in life, right? So if you have a long-term issue that you're trying to clear out and get to the bottom of things and heal, this is a very, very good diffuser blend, or even a blend to put in some coconut oil and then to put over your heart area. And for that, I would suggest lime, again, that which is the oil for zest for life, and then thyme. Okay, so the one thing I remember about thyme is that thyme heals all wounds. So if you have deep wounds, thyme can be an amazing essential oil to help with that. So lime, thyme, and then tea tree, which is a powerful, powerful cleanser. And that can be a very, very good blend. Okay, so just a few other things on lime. If you've been weighed down with a lot of discouragement or grief, lime can help lift us out of that. If there's been a lot of emotional toxins accumulated and repressed, lime can help us let it go. And again, the gift of lime that I wanted to talk about again, just because it's so cool, is that how lime has that gift of balancing our intellect and our heart. Let's not neglect what our heart wants to do just because our head is telling us something else is smarter, right? We don't want to do that. We want to, nor do we want to always follow our head. Anyway, we don't want to follow either our heart or our head completely. We want to have them in balance. We want to use the best gifts of both, and lime can help with that balance. Okay, so some negative emotions that lime can help with is if we're apathetic, if we're resigned, if we're grieving, a loss of will to live, or discouraged. Okay, lime can help with that. And the positive properties that can bring in is being courageous. Sometimes if you've been hurt several times, it takes courage to let go of that and become authentic and vulnerable again. Lime can help with that. It helps us be emotionally honest, helps us be engaged, feel revitalized, be determined, and be grateful for life. So lime is an amazing essential oil. Okay, so we've talked about the benefits, the emotional benefits of lime. Again, we are diffusing 2 drops of Vetiver, which is the oil of centering and getting to the bottom of things. 2 drops of lavender, which is the oil of communication and calm. 2 drops of lime, which is the oil of zest for life. And we've talked about the emotional benefits of all of them now. Friday, we are going to be talking about the physical benefits of them, and the emotional benefits are amazing, and the physical benefits of each of those are amazing as well. I think you're going to want to tune into that. I'm reminding you that the affirmation for today is, I am open to hear my own inner wisdom. And, pick a song that connects with you on that. The 2 songs that connect with me on that are look for the bright little light inside and slow down. And the affirmation for the week is, I am telling my story in a new way. Your story is yours, and my story is mine, and we don't need to let anyone else define us. We can define us in our minds, in our hearts, and go forward with who we know we are, letting our own lights shine, letting your own light shine. Okay, you're important. You are so needed in the world. I know you have the power in you to make it a great day. This is Suzanne Williams with Essential Oils Health Matters, Living a Wholesome Life, just telling you how much we love you and appreciate you and how important you are to the world. Bye-bye.